What's up, baby girl? Hello. She's a good girl. Let's start that time. Hmm. Mm. I need to put my new bank card in. What's up? Oh, is this is the right bank account? Fine. My old man said. What? Yep, all okay. Oh, that's good. Stream is running steady. That's good. Music is running. Let's have a look at that. Hmm. So, do, 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 do. Where is the brush on? There we go. Yeah. Amazon, Amazon ArtStation Marketplace are being such dicks with their updates. Turn your driver's license round. What's that about? Your verification data has been successfully submitted. Right, so that's done. Right, let's get on with some of this. What's up, sweetheart? Awesome. She's a good girl. Lay down on your bed. Full area. Oh yeah, full area. There we go. Oh, why is that? Was that lagging a second ago? Hope we're working. Hey Mega, how you doing, pal? So I was distracted then. I was just looking at my other screen. Yeah, I've been really busy over the last sort of 6 months to a year with some freelance work. Um, so I've just not had time, simply. So I want to get back into it a little bit, get some time in. How are you doing? Are you doing okay? And Happy New Year to you as well. A bit better. My car just broke down and I was to sort it this morning, but otherwise I'm doing good. Oh, that's a bummer, mate. Nothing serious, I hope. Is it an older car or is it something superficial and new? Never good when a car breaks down, especially this time of year. We've got a massive scratch on the back of ours. Um, we just parked in. Where were we? We'd parked in the car park. It wasn't at the shopping centre. Where'd we been that day? I can't remember. It'll come to me in a minute. Anyway, we come back to the car and there's a massive gouge up the side, like with white paint. So I'm assuming a white van man has reversed in or out or clipped it as he's coming in and out the tight space. Left a massive gouge. No note, no nothing. We went to, oh, we'd been to a funeral, that's it. We'd been to a funeral and it was in the car park of the funeral place. So I went back and asked them if they had a CCTV. Nothing, no CCTV or anything. So we're left with the bill of the car. Hope yours doesn't cost much, mate. Not like stuff isn't expensive these days. Everything's so expensive. Don't know yet. All I know is that the oil wasn't circulating as intended. Sounds bad, which is bad news, yeah. It's my second Fiesta and the last one had a problem with the oil pump. Oh, man. Yeah, well, fingers crossed that isn't too expensive, but oil, anything to do with the oil is circulatory, so it's be a bad one. What are you doing at the moment then? You getting public transport or getting a lift or something? You've rented one but available tomorrow. Cold, yeah. Rental services these days are so quick. Car selling services, you know, if you're going to buy a car, it's so quick. I remember first car that came from a showroom, car sales place for us, for me, was it took a couple of weeks for it to come to the showroom because of the colour or something. I can't remember, it was many years ago, but because of the colour, I think it was. I had to wait a couple of weeks for it to get transported up. Now it's the next day, even if it's. Well, in fact, opposite my house is a Vauxhall Evans Halshaw showroom, and all day long there's just a car transporter bringing and taking cars away because for that reason they just move them all over the country all day long for the next day. It's mad. So it's good if you're buying or trying out a car, I suppose, but that'll get me started about the disruption that the trucks cause. I hope I don't have to buy another one. I had this one for only 7. Only 7. Oh man, that's even worse. If it's an older car and you know it's on its last legs, it's not so bad when you know it goes. But 7 months, man. Yeah, I feel for you. Hope it sorts itself out, bud. Well, not sorts itself out, but I hope you get it sorted out relatively cheap. Other than the car, what you been up to? Been working on anything? Have you been? How's life in general? Oh, I'm a bit snotty today. Apologise if you're picking that up on the mic. I finished. quotation marks, a gantry for a laser cutter the other day, and then working on a remote toy, really early days. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Working on a remote toy. What's the aesthetics? What's it based on? Sounds cool. Right, so it's just the bare bones. Cool. What's the finished article going to be then? What's it? Is it going to be a walker? Is it going to be a car type thing? Is it going to have wheels? You're going to fly? It's not you that's sending up all the drones, is it? Have I sussed it out? Have I worked out who the culprit is? Omni wheels. Awesome. I'm definitely not just Googling Omni wheels, because I obviously know what Omni wheels are. Oh, yeah, I do know what that is. I do know what that is. That's cool. That's cool. Oh, man. When you get into that and you get it up and running, you need to send me some pictures of it. Cooler Omni wheels. You've just opened a rabbit hole for me now. That's it. Yeah. Well, it's one of those from a design perspective. It's one of those things that as soon as you see it, your brain is lit up. Boom. Yeah. Oh man. That wheel looks cool. Let me just show you it. Where are we? Oh, why can't I? I thought I'd put one on. Browser there, yeah. Oh. There we are. This one here. How cool is that? How cool is that? So those wheels don't just go, so you haven't just got the rotation this way and that way. They're going in a diagonal. That's cool. I suppose that'll draw. Wonder what the purpose of them going in that direction is for. Yeah, exactly. When it looks like it shouldn't work, that's where you're interested. Yeah. It makes the brain turn on. It's cool. I'm not so happy about the cat face though. I mean, that's taking the rule of cool away, is that? Yeah, I like that. Hey, Vegeta. Nice to see you, pal. Yeah, I've been off the radar for a long time, been very busy. Had some freelance work that was keeping me, well, more than the hours that I actually have in the day. So that contract went on for a long time. But I'm hoping to get back into it now and hoping to stream every day. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be around a bit more. How are you doing, pal? How's the gaming going? And how's the model painting? This is the first iteration of my Omnibeal wall. Let's have a look. Oh, that was cool. Mind if I show it? Am I okay to show it on screen? Oh, it is on screen. That's cool. Yeah, you've got the angles. Angled wheel, yeah, that's cool. So that's slightly different to the. Oh no, it isn't. No, it's the yeah. So it's the same as the cat of this with the cat face, isn't it? Similar idea. I like it. I like it a lot. So is that going to be 3D printed? FDM. Or is it going to be? Is it going to be machined? Of course. You will build something that JV says. Vijira says, so build something this Friday with a buddy. Oh. Well, fingers crossed for you. There's a lot of fingers being crossed for you, Murga. So there's fingers crossed for your car. Let's hope that comes in cheap to fix, and also that this prints first time. What's the size going to be? You're going to run a test first, obviously. I'm lucky. I've made it to 46 years old and I've got all my fingers left, so I can spare a few for you. Yep, 46 years old, and I've looked like this since I was about 14. So it's not that I look young, it's that I've always looked like this. I hit puberty and then my body just went, right, this is how you're going to look for the rest of your life. Consistency does matter. It does. It does. So what did you say you are? We'll be building something this Friday with a buddy. What's that you're going to be building? I tease my buddy that I will totally build Gunpla. And then I call it on purpose Gunpla. I got you. And turns out I'm building Robo Anime. Thank you. With Kotobukiya. Kotobukiya. Right, I need to... That's something else I need to Google because I've no idea what that is. Let's have a look. My Gunpla game is very lacking. Although I've seen there's a massive trend for it at the moment. Especially the guys that are mixing the kits with the Tau. It's very cool. Right, that doesn't seem... What is Kotobukiya then? I've obviously not pronouncing that right. Kotobukiya. Yeah. There's some nice kits out there. Like I say, I'm seeing a lot on people's Instagrams that they're doing the kits, mixing the kits. I think the kits are coming in as being quite reasonably priced as well, if I'm following the right thread of releases. People are comparing them to, obviously, to Games Workshop because that's the leader. But they're comparing those kits. Isn't there a tabletop game that's just come out or coming out as well for the Gunpla? Isn't that what sparked it off? Yep, I will do. Let's have a look at this. All these anime names, they need to just call them Jim Bob or Sarah Lee or something. Right. Oh, that first one looks awesome. Have a look at this. Let's show a browser on this. Look at that one. So these are kits that you're talking? There's nice flow in that, but I don't know whether that's an actual... No, that's a render, that is. That's not an actual kit. In fact, I think most of these are renders, aren't they? Are these product render shots? Yeah, I'm going by the shadows on them. There's light where you wouldn't normally have it in reality, so like around the neck area here. Unless it's been retouched, unless they are posed and then retouched afterwards, that's unrealistic in there, you see. Little telltale signs of... But essentially it matters not, because a render these days is of the actual product being created, so yeah, and that doesn't look right. That shiny spot on the top there, because I'm assuming these are all just one color pieces. These aren't highlight, these aren't painted and dry and airbrushed. That's a bit rounded, a bit perfect. I may be completely wrong. Yeah, look how that shadow's falling there. These are render shots, these are definitely. What scale are the kits? Yeah, they're cool. So that's the second rabbit hole today. So Emergus sent me down the Omniwheel rabbit hole, and now you sent me down obscure anime cyborg rabbit hole. All we need now is an obscure anime cyborg that's got Omniwheels on it, and I'm there. I'm done for today. You need to Google us there. I know they are 16 centimetres tall. All right, yeah, so that's what we're after, really. The height. So 16 centimetres. Oh, that's not too bad. That's quite a nice kit, is it? 16 centimetres. Yeah, because I've seen some of the anime kits, and they're massive, and a little bit too much, really. But 16 centimetres, that's okay, that is. So are you going to paint the kit? Or are you just building the kits? Just read the last bit of that, which is about 3.2 hamburgers. Nice, nice. Does that not depend on which burger joint it is, though? Because some are very small and some are not so small. Essentially, they're all small, though. Just a factor of being small. Just building, depending on what my buddy wants. That's why we're talking about death metal. If we're going to play 100% death metal the entire time, I might return to Warhammer. See how it goes? Plenty out there. The conversation was very passionate and about Bolt Thrower. Bolt Thrower, man. Oh, I actually bought the albums when they were released. Can you imagine that? And I don't know if you've ever come across them, but the Warhammer Records had another band called Wraith. They were shit. Wraith were absolutely. They were more like sleaze metal, and they were just shit. I remember being at a games day. Was it games day? I think it was a games day. So I don't know if you know this, but Games Workshop used to have 2 events per year. They'd have like a games day, and then they'd have a Golden Demon, and then that all got merged into one big event. Just the Golden Demon, but I think it was at the games day, and they had Wraith, the band, which was the second band that I think second, yeah. I think they only ever sort of signed 2 bands, but Wraith were there at a table, and they were just there by themselves all day. Nobody was going to see them. It was just dire. It was just, it was really sad. I think I got a Nurgle poster signed at the time. Oh, was it Golden Demon? Because the poster was the Nurgle warrior from Golden Demon '92. So yeah, it'll have been the Golden Demon '92. Anyway, I got the poster with him on, signed by him, because I think I just felt sorry for him. Stood there in a corner with nobody going up to him. Yeah. Oh man. Warhammer Records. Yeah, I got the Bolt Thrower albums on vinyl and tape at the time, because that's the 2 formats that they were selling them, because it was that early. So they used to sell them at the Games Workshop. I didn't buy them from, I think Virgin Records at the time sold them as well, but I bought mine from the Games Workshop. Yeah, oh god, that's bringing some memories back, is that? I remember they used to have them stood up behind the counter in Games Workshop Leeds, propped up against they had like shelves, and they'd prop them up, the albums. Same with the game, same with when Space Hulk launched in the 90s. That was the same, so they had a couple of them up. And I remember they had to take them down and not sell them because they were getting too many people coming in. Yeah, Games Workshop did used to be based, yeah. Oh man, the stories I can tell you about Games Workshop back then. We were just kids. We were only teenagers, but we like everybody in the 90s. We used to drink from being like 14. You'd go out to the pub if you looked old enough, you could get into the pubs, and they didn't ID you or anything like that. So we used to our group from Games Workshop, we used to go No, not at all. I'm making some studs. I'm not doing it. Um, so we used to go drinking. Did our group from the Games Workshop? There must have been about a dozen of us in total. The huge group of lads who all came together. There were no mobile phones back then, so all we used to do was we'd meet on a Saturday and a Thursday night. Gaming night was Thursday night, and obviously Saturday was a Saturday. So there was our 2 days a week that we'd meet at Games Workshop. And the manager at the time, who shall remain nameless, used to take us out drinking after the Games Workshop had shut. So we'd have his game night or whatever. And then we'd go out drinking. We were like, most of us were like 14, 15. And then when we'd run out of money because we were only kids and we didn't have jobs, he'd sub us and he'd buy us beer. And it was it was amazing. It was an amazing time. And then on a Saturday, when we'd arranged to go out, we would go back and we would sleep in the Games Workshop because we were out in town. So we'd actually go out to, it was a metal club in Leeds called Scrumpy's, which was, oh, I miss Scrumpy's. It was like OG metal club, dirty, disgusting. You didn't sit down anywhere because you'd stick to the floor or the seats. It was heaven. It was amazing. And it used to be full of people like the English version of the Hell's Angels and a few other biker gangs and stuff. And we were like 14, 15, and it was like, this is just amazing. So we'd go out on a night, and the manager who run Leeds Games Workshop wasn't really into metal, but he knew we were, so we used to have a compromise and we'd go to a couple of trendy places first, and then we'd end up at Scrumpy's afterwards, and then we'd all sleep back in the Games Workshop. Madness, mad days. Can't even imagine them thinking about that these days. Can you imagine Games Workshop? They would just lose their shit if that was happening these days. Happy days. In fact, we used to do that in 2 Games Workshops. So we'd do it in the Leeds Games Workshop and the Bradford Games Workshop, because one of our group of lads, actually was working at Leeds, and then he moved up in ranks and became the manager of Bradford Games Workshop. And in Bradford, there used to be a big metal club called Rio's, Bradford Rio's, and we used to go do the same thing there, and then we'd all pile back to the Games Workshop and sleep in the Games Workshop. That was mental. Yeah. Proper trip down memory lane today. Ah, yes. Yeah, so right, yeah. I forget you're not from England. So the 2 Games Workshops I'm talking are Leeds is a big city. I think we're 5th largest or something like that city um, in Yorkshire. Let's have a look. Largest cities in England. and Bradford is like the next city over, so they're next door to each other. So to go from Leeds to Bradford would probably take us 20-30 minutes on a train. Until 2010. Oh man, so you'll have missed out on all the classic stuff, like proper bikers being there. And I remember the one in Leeds at Scrumpy's. That's where I was earliest. That's the first club that I started going to, and that still had fights would break out between the gangs of bikers and the gangs of like hair metal guys. So you'd have, there's nothing funnier than watching a guy clad completely in metal in like chains and leathers kicking the shit out of somebody who is dressed in lycra and tassels and and makeup, and it's just the funniest thing. It's just the funniest. It was just the funniest thing, because at first you'd think, "Oh, that bloke's beating up a woman over there," and then you realise, "Oh no, actually, it's just it's just a glam. It's just a glammy." Leave them to it. Yeah, so funny. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're about fourth or fifth largest in England is Leeds, something like that. So we had back in the day, back when I was a kid, we had how many metal clubs? So we had Scrumpy's, which was amazing. Only small, only a tiny place, but it was amazing. And then there was what was the other one called? I put the Marine Centre. The Phono, yeah. So we had the Phono, but that was more of a. It had metal nights, but it also more tailored for the goth. It's where goth started actually, because goth started in Leeds. The goth movement started in Leeds, and the Phono is said to be the birthplace of it. So that's where all your early bands started in there. But they did a couple of goth nights, one on a weekend. I think Sunday was goth night, and one during the week, and then they'd mix it up and they'd have sort of a 70s to 80s rock night on a Friday. Saturday was like a mixture of indie and sort of the new metal stuff that was coming through at the time. So that was a younger crowd was in Phono, and then but on a Saturday, what I used to do was it was good, but these places used to open at like 12 o'clock midday. So what we'd do is we'd start off at Scrumpy's at midday. So we go down Scrumpy's at midday, and then they used to close so the staff could get dinner and stuff in the afternoon for a couple of hours. And when they closed at 4, we used to go up to Phono, grab some food on the way, go up to Phono, and we'd stay in there until something like 8, maybe 9 o'clock, and then we'd go down back to Scrumpy's and stay there for the night. It was just essentially from midday, just all day and night. Happy days. There's not really anything like that anymore now in Leeds. There's a couple of metal places, but they're more bars than nightclubs. You've got Key Club, which has bands on, which is okay. But again, it's nothing like it used to be. I know it sounds like member berries back in my day, but it really is. Sort of. We call them what do we call them? Beer trail, like a beer trail type thing. and they all have different names. There used to be one in Wakefield called the Wakefield Wobble. So you start at one pub, mainly for pubs though, it wasn't nightclubs. So you start in one pub and then you go down a certain route to hit all the different pubs. But yeah, that was Saturdays. Saturdays back in the early 90s. Most of the 90s, to be honest. Way back when. Yeah, like I was saying there, that there's none these days really. There's a spattering of clubs here and there, but there's hardly anybody in them. The people, you know, I can remember going into metal clubs back when I was younger, and you literally were queuing for 30 minutes at the bar just to get to the front because you were in like 6 or 7 people deep at the bar. 3D Man, 3D Manic, how are you doing, pal? Thank you for the follow. No, it's not a shame. It just makes me feel old because, you know, we're talking, we're talking about 90, 91, 92 here. Hello, hello. How are you doing, bud? Yeah, doing fine, pal. Thanks. Just explain to a couple of the guys in there that I've been busy, really busy. I think I put on the Discord that I've been so busy. A freelance contract that kept me going for best part of a year, so just not had any spare time. But I'm hoping to get back into it now. I plan to stream each day, so what I'm planning to do is a morning one. Sorry, an early afternoon one, which is this one, and then I'm going to do a late night one, English time that is. So I'll be doing two a day. Try and get those numbers back up. Like yourself, how's the projects coming? Yeah, it's a good problem to have, and I know I say that to a few people. I go, "Oh God, I'm so busy," and then you think to yourself, "Yeah, you need to be busy. You need to be busy, especially when you've got a well, everybody needs money, but especially when you've got a family and bills to pay. It's worrying about money is not something that we should be doing." We fight substance paint for the past 2 days. Got my teeth in. You can tell I've not been talking much. Um, yeah, substance painting. I want to get into that more myself. For just back to learning it. I think it's a great tool. That or Marmoset. I think Substance Painter though, because it's more in keeping with the programs that I already know inside out, like Photoshop and Illustrator and whatnot, with it being Adobe. Have you used the Stager? Because there's a rendering tool from Adobe as well called, is it Stager? Not sure if you've used that. Right, I've just set my timer going for 30 minutes. So I will be going off stream in about 30 minutes. Yep, I'm just looking at the time there. Kids are up shortly, so they will be demanding things. Yeah, Pablo, he's great as Pablo. Great as Pablo. I keep up to date with all his stuff, even if it's something that I'm no intention of using. I just like. I think his format is really good, really informative. Did you do a couple of the Pablo courses? I think you did. You've done a couple of the Pablo courses, haven't you? How did you find them? We haven't yet, but the Pablo Muniz course is the section where he shows how to use it. Yeah. That's the course that you mentioned before. Yeah, that's good, is that? Was looking at an actual physical course here in the city that I live the other week. I was contemplating that, but got too busy with work again and missed the course timetable dates just to apply for it. So it was an adult course and like an evening course type thing. As like a general games development course, so it wouldn't necessarily give me anything that I don't do every day in the sculpting side of things, but it will open up knowledge into meshes and textures and whatnot. So that was something I was looking at, which I'll probably look at again at some point down the road when they open up again. So how does the extra mile course work then? Is it something that you subscribe to, and is it a constantly ongoing thing, or do you sub to just that one course? Yeah. You would be one of the guys I'd come to with any of those kind of questions. It's not necessarily something that I want to pursue at this point. I'm too long in the tooth to go down that route, but it's definitely something I would do out of interest. And opening one skill, opening another skill is always a good thing. They always interconnect and help along the way. So one of the reasons I've got an interest in the meshes and the textures and whatnot is I want to start fully colouring and rather than just using poly paint in for my renders, I want to start fully using textures to get the beauty shots up there, so they're better. Because I think one thing that's lacking out there for 3D sculpted stuff, for the 3D print, is everything's just a clay render, and they're not really nice to look at, and they're not showing the model off to its full extent, I don't think. It's nice to see a clay render, but it's also nice to see something coloured up. And when you're seeing painted versions of a model, you're it's not as good because obviously the camera's not showing it in the full in its full extent. So we'll see how that goes. The immediate plan is to keep getting the streaming back up and running and getting that as a regular daily thing, doing twice a day hopefully. You pay for it one time, which is a larger amount, and you get lifetime access to the course and a few extra perks with it. All right, right. So that's quite a good pay structure then. How many courses do they sort of average a year? Have they got or is it just random? Can it just be random? Because having a one-off payment, opening it up, if they don't have like a structured regular course thing, that can be a little bit ambiguous. Do they have like a not a set in stone guarantee, but do they have like a minimum amount of courses that you would have a year? Yeah, that's it. I'm so old that I'm now pre-color. The cost has not changed. The live workshop along with it is new every time. But the live workshop has live feedback from Pablo himself, which is the major thing. Yeah, yeah. And I think that is key. That's like having a mentorship type thing because there's a lot of sculptors and people out there offering mentorships. It seems to be the thing that you offer a mentorship, which is like one on one, which is okay, I suppose. If the numbers of the course is quite low, if there's not a lot of people in there, you're getting quite a lot of dedicated time. But um, did you feel like Pablo was dedicating enough time to you on the on that side of things? Yeah, so it's pretty much just the content is in every live workshop stays the same, just a different character Pablo makes. So I'm assuming he's got the format and he's got it drilled down and he knows what he's doing, and then he's just fitting a character in and then sort of wash and repeat, copy pasting the same over and over so that you're getting used to that. Yeah, yeah, that's quite cool. And then once I suppose you're at the stage where you're happy and you know everything, or you think you know everything with the course, you can click out of the course and not use it anymore. Yeah, that sounds good. No, no, not dissing him at all. No, no, not at all. Pablo is amazing. He's amazing. What I was framing there, where I was coming from was, um, if it's one person or a couple of people running a course, you don't have a whole faculty behind you like you would in a college or whatnot. So if it's just one person running the course and being a creator and a content creator and putting it all out, that's a lot for one person to do. So if he's also doing one-on-ones in a mentorship kind of way, where is he getting that time from? So I would want to know, as a pupil, am I getting enough time in the mentorship to ask the questions, get those questions answered properly, you know? So that would be my only qualm about that, especially if you're paying a lot of money for it. It's just logical for me to want to know those things. No, 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 no. You know me. Give me the comments. Give me the comments. The feedback on the community channels is lifetime too, so if you post other projects other than the course, you get feedback on that occasionally from Pablo too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's in his discourse. His Discord, is it? No, no, no. Never treated as a slop. Oh, so it's a private one to do with the course. Cool. That's a good bonus then, isn't it? That's an added advantage. He's he creates content and courses, and he's a 3D modeler. But he knows a lot. He's really good. He's a really talented guy. So I think Did he start 3D Manic? Did he start a course? Was his courses? But did they kick off a good couple of years ago now? Oh, that's cool. So you get those perks. I actually just bought Character Creator 4 the other last month or so, a month or so back. That's an amazing tool. Really good. So I've been working on changing my process. So I do a lot of if a character I'm sculpting is more organic than hard surface, I tend to sculpt in pose. And if it's hard surface, obviously I'll do in an A pose and then I'll pose after the sculpt. But it causes a lot of problems sculpting in pose. So you tend to be doing a lot of the work again. So the mindset behind it is I'm going to save a lot of time because I don't have to pose it. But in actual fact, you're just moving where that work is. So when Character Creator came on the scene, I was like, I need to get into this because it looks great, and it is. It is really good. So I've been working on making some. So this is the recent project. So I'm making a tiefling. So she's in A pose, ready to go into Character Creator 4, which I'll probably stream posing, getting her posed up in Character Creator 4. And what I'm working on here is some studs for some of the armor. I'm just making an Ironman brush of studs. Yeah, I remember it was a big relaunch of his course. He did that really well, actually. The relaunch that was really well received by the community and everybody at large, I think. Time we on 2:33. Just looking outside here, the weather is absolutely abysmal. It's not as bad as it has been. Don't get me wrong. We've had bad snow and all sorts here, but it's just grey and wet and horrible. I do not want to go out there today. I think she'll be staying in. Yeah, so the plan is I'm going to be going off stream in a minute, and I'll be back on tonight. I've got some Shopify stuff to do for a client first. So I'll do that for a couple of hours and then I'll be back on tonight, probably around 10 o'clock, something like that. What game are you playing at the moment, Vajira? Not seen you stream any of that recently. I've not, or if you are, I've not caught you recently. No, stood 10. Very odd. Let's... Dynamesh! Not Dynamesh. Remesh it. Hey, that just squash. What the hell? Hmm. That does look like it should be even. Oh, remesh by union. It is a godsend. I use primarily, because I see a lot of people still using, even though they've got the most up-to-date version, still using a few things from the way that ZBrush used to work. And yeah, Z mesh by union, and also remeshing by folder. Do you know about the remesh by folder? Yeah, definitely. The not having to mess about with the boolean and creating a separate subtool is just it's life changing. Oh, cheers, love. Right, guys, I'm going to go now. Kids are home in 15 minutes, so it's time to go make tea and things. So it's nice to speak to a few of you again, and I will hopefully all be well be on again tonight and then tomorrow about this time. So take care. stay frosty, and I'll speak to you all later.